First up, some very big and some good news for the India story. The Indian economy grew 8.4% during the October to December quarter, beating estimates by the RBI, by Dalal Street, and certainly by all the ratings agencies. The RBI had pegged the growth for this quarter at 6.5%, so beating that by quite some margin. A statement released by the government said that India remained the fastest growing major economy in the world. And in particular, it's interesting to see where this was driven. It was driven by robust growth in manufacturing and in construction, along with high domestic demand. All of that is credited for those GDP numbers. The manufacturing sector, for example, expanding 11.6% year on year in the December quarter. Construction sector also growing by 9.5%. Prime Minister Modi said that all of this shows the strength of the Indian economy and its potential. And now there are been many quarters of 8% growth. So does that mean this can be sustained, and is this a new trajectory? Remember, here on the India story, we've been saying, oh, India really needs to grow at 6% or 7%. If it becomes 8%, that's really good news. Now, one other thing I do want to draw your attention to. It's great if construction is growing and agriculture is growing and manufacturing growing. Manufacturing has to be an increasingly important part of the India story, so it's good if that's growing. But it's also interesting to note the investments and the focus that is now coming in high-tech areas. We've all heard of AI. We all know what's happening with AI. We all saw those NVIDIA results and the excitement around semi-conductors in other parts of the world. And many of us have had that question. When are we going to move some of that to India? When are semiconductor fabs going to come in India? And that's why a piece of news that is perhaps as noteworthy and as good as those GDP numbers is the fact that the Indian government has approved setting up 3 semiconductor units. 2 of them will be in Gujarat and 1 is going to be in Assam. India has approved building these 3 semiconductor plants with investments of more than $15 billion. This, hopefully, will help the country become a major chip hub. Now, of course, lots and ifs and buts here do have to be stated. These are not necessarily the cutting-edge fabs that we have to eventually aspire to, but most countries don't have them. So this is the first step towards that. Obviously, this is something which the government is also subsidizing in a major way. More than half the cost of these fabs will end up being paid by the central government and then by the state governments. But it's great at the beginning, it's happening, and apparently it's happening quite fast. Construction due to begin in the next 100 days. First one supposed to be in Assam. The investment in Assam could be something like 27,000 crore rupees, and the Tata Group has been roped in to set up 2 of those plants. So semiconductors, keep your eye out there. That's a very important sunrise sector which India is moving into.